Hi, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on that. Acceptance without judgment is our theme for today's practice. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin today's practice coming into a few rounds of forward tracking moon salutation. Find a comfortable samasthiti with your feet maybe hip width distance apart. Stand up tall and bring your hands to a modified Anjali Mudra with your palms looking up to the sky. Take a big breath in as you support your lower back coming into a back bend, and then exhale to fold forward with soft bendy knees, and 3 times oscillate between the back bend and the forward fold. The next time you find yourself folding forward, step the left leg back, bring the front leg to 90, knife edge your back foot, and trace a semicircular pattern with your right arm reaching for the front and the back of the room. Then pivot to face in the opposite direction and start to side squat lunge. We'll keep the first one at about hip height, just leaning into one leg, extending the other, coming back to the top end of the mat to step back into a plank. Relax the knees, the shins, and the feet. Come into a puppy stretch, draping your arms on the mat and thinking chin and chest looking off the front of the mat. Ease your way onto the belly. Find your way to a small cobra chest lift, or play and release into the shoulders. Ease your way into a soft down dog frame and find some playful movement through the knees and the hips, lubricating and bringing blood supply into those joints. Then still your dog. Kick up the left leg coming into a 3-legged dog. Change sides, kick up the right leg. Do a swing through step coming into your bendy forward fold. Peel it up, find your back bend. Bring your hands together, palms up. Big breath in, find your back bend. Exhale to fold forward. Play 3 times between the back bend and the forward fold. Then step your right leg back, front foot to 90, knife edge your back foot, and trace that semicircle with your left hand reaching for the front and the back of the room. Then pivot to side squat lunge, keeping your arms long and dangly. Ease your way to the top end of the mat and step it back into a plank. Relax knees, shins, and feet. Set up your puppy stretch. Onto the belly for some cobra play. Then down dog it, move through the knees and the hips as you find blissful dog. Still your dog. Kick up the right leg. Kick up the left leg. Swing through step to your bendy fold. Peel it up into your back bend. Hands together, palms up. Second round, big breath in, find your back bend and your forward fold 3 times. Then step the left leg back, front foot to 90, knife edge the back foot, find your semicircular trace, nectar of the moon, Soma Chandrasana 1 and 2. Pivot to side squat lunge. Maybe the hips are starting to open up and you can look for more drop down through the pelvis, bringing your whole line closer to the mat. Find your way to the top end and step back into plank. Release knees, shins, and feet. Paint your arms on the mat. Set yourself up into a puppy stretch. Then onto the belly. Find your cobra. Maybe shrug and release. Find your way into blissful dog, moving through knees and hips. Still your dog. Pick up the left leg, pick up the right leg. Swing through, step into a soft fold. Find your back bend, hands together, palms up. Big breath in for your back bend. Exhale to fold. Find your place 3 times. Then right leg stepping back, front foot to 90, back foot knife edged. Reach for the front, reach for the back. Pivot to side squat lunge, Sahaya Ardha Malasana. Ease your way to the top end of the mat, plank it out. Find your puppy. Onto the belly. 4 little cobra playtime. Ease your way into a down dog, release knees and hips. Still your dog. Kick up the right leg. Kick up the left leg. Swing through, step into a soft bendy fold. Find your supported back bend, hands together, palms up for our last round of Chandra Namaskar. Find your back bend in your forward fold. Move dynamically. Find your rhythm. Step your left leg back. Find your modified side plank. Start to reach for the front and the back of the room. Pivot. Maybe dropping nice and low and even traipsing your fingertips on the floor if the hips will allow. Back to the top end of your mat for a plank. Release the knees, the shins and the feet. Set up your delicious puppy stretch. Then onto the belly for some cobra time. Into a down dog, find the knees, find the hips. Still your dog, pause. Kick up the left leg. Kick up the right leg. Swing through step. Find your fold. Bleed it up. Back bend to a nice tall mountain, palms up. Last time, playing between the back bend and the fold. End in your fold, step the right leg back, front foot to 90, knife edge your back foot, reach for the front and the back of the room. Pivot to find your side squat lunge, opening up beautifully through the pelvis and the inner thighs. Ease your way to a plank line at the top end of the mat. Release to puppy. Onto the belly. Find your cobra. Shrug and release if you feel so inclined. Down dog it. Knees and hips play. Still your dog. Right leg kicks up. Left leg kicks up. Swing through step to a fold. Into the back bend. Hands together, take a few moments. Breathe. And like a puppet that's just had its strings cut, come back into your soft bendy fold and then add a ragdoll sway side to side, keeping those knees super soft and bendy. Start to walk your feet further and further apart, either ending in a midway squat and leaning your body weight side to side, or starting to ease your way lower and lower, coming onto the floor in a deep squat and playing with that side to side lean, peeling one heel off the floor till the inner thighs and the groin area feels released enough to hold your deep squat. Maybe fingers to floor, actively using those arms to open up the inner thighs, or maybe you'd like to center in prayer mudra. Take a moment, finding a seat in Malasana. You could even place a block or a pillow or a bolster underneath your bottom. Ease your way from here into a tall staff seat. Bringing the 2 feet flush along the midline. Squeeze into the feet. Square up, make the whole sole nice and flat. And see if you can hold that tall stretch through the back of the legs, through the line of the spine. Maybe adding the arms and reaching those forward. Holding for another 10 seconds. Think length through the arms, legs, spine. We're going to ease our way from here into an inverted plank. Paint your fingers to the mat. You can do fingers front, side, back, or fisted. Paint them back behind your hip line. Think of making your feet heavy to the floor. Either just stop here in an L lean off the center line, or maybe see if you can lift your bottom and your belly up towards the sky and hold. Keeping chin to chest or gently opening up through your throat center with care. Find your way back to your tall staff seat. Sit up nice and tall. Start to make one arm heavy to the floor and take a little arc and frame on the other side. Back to center. To do the same on the second side, making one palm, one elbow, one shoulder, one ear heavy, arcing and framing on the other side. Ease your way back to a tall seat. Begin to find your L lean and draw the legs one at a time into a tabletop boat, keeping your fingertips gently connected to the mat, or finding purchase behind your thighs, or floating and reaching through the fingertips. Find the boat, Navasana, that speaks to you and hold it. Keep that long line through the spine. Keep pulling up through the lower abs. Then ease your way from here into a gentle butterfly line. Maybe hanging your butterfly first, tipping the weight off your bum bone, reaching for your ankles and tucking them into your perineum without allowing the feet to ground. Then ground to the mat. Hold your butterfly, maybe using your elbows and your forearms to gently prise those inner thighs open. And you can press and release if you need to, or you can press and hold. Start to look for that beautiful stretch through the line of the spine. Then release from here into a straddle line, opening up the legs into a V. If you need to bend and extend the legs, just coaxing the back of the knees to open up gently, and then maybe holding the stretch. Maybe just extending the legs and bracing into the feet is enough for you. Maybe you'd like to take a tiny walk forward onto the tips of your fingers. Maybe you can drop to the palms and the forearms. Maybe you can bring your chin and your chest lower to the floor, displaying the elbows out. and thinking of taking a rest on the back of your hands. You could modify with a block or a bolster on the floor in front of you and lean into your prop. Give yourself at least 20 more seconds here. In your straddle, Upavista Konasana. Then sit up nice and tall. Bring your right leg in so that it's stacking directly in front of your hip. And bend the left leg, placing the sole of the foot on the inseam of the left leg. Then place your fingertips on the floor in the middle of the right and the left leg. Take a soft fold forward. Maybe onto the fingers, maybe onto the palms, maybe onto the forearms. Take the breath into your lower back. Look for a softening. Look for a release. Maybe you can take a gentle creep off center to the left, framing your left knee either on the forearms or maybe on the palms if the floor is not your friend today. Creep your way across the midline, maybe to frame your extended leg, or maybe you'd like to reach for the foot or the toes with one or with both hands. Keep taking the breath into your lower back. Inhale to sit up nice and tall. Then extend the left leg and set up your frame on the second side. Placing your fingertips on the floor between the two legs and beginning to creep your way forward, maybe onto the forearms, and then pausing there for a few breaths. Keep belly to spine, keep taking your breath to the lower back. Creep your way off center to the right, find a frame and hold it. Maybe bleed your way to the left, maybe framing the leg, or maybe you'd like to reach for your toes or your foot, modifying if you need to with a block or a strap to make that connection if you like. Find your way back to the middle. Bring the legs flush along the midline as you give them a little pedal out. Place your hands on the tops of your thighs. Keep that inner thigh squeeze going and fold it forward into Paschimottanasana. Maybe you're reaching for your feet, maybe you're just relaxing the forearms to the mat, or maybe relaxing the forearms to your thighs. You could even put a pillow over your legs or a bolster and find a fold over a prop. Find your way to a tall, narrow staff seat. Press into the feet, lengthen your legs, lengthen your spine, lengthen your arms. Hold staff pose, Dandasana. Then relax your hands to the mat, palms up. Take a big breath in, make one palm, one elbow, one shoulder, one ear heavy to the floor. Arc, frame, and reach with the other arm. contracting on one side of your trunk and expanding and lengthening on the opposite side. Find your way back to the middle. Big breath in to lengthen. Exhale to find your drop frame on side 2, and then arcing and framing with the free arm. Ease your way back to the middle. Place your fingertips on the mat. Pick the hand orientation that resonates with you. This time we're going to use a little Pilates V. So heels together, toes splayed out. As you draw your hands back, coming into an L lean and pausing there, or knife edging your feet as you think bum and belly to sky. Either chin softly relaxed down or opening up through your throat center, depending on where you'd like to play today. Keep those glutes active. Keep breathing into the front of your chest. Ease your way to a seat. Keep that L lean off the center line and find your way into either a diamond boat or ease your way into Merudandasana by holding on to maybe the ankles or the shins. Maybe the toes are accessible, and you can begin to V one or both legs out, holding dancing bear Merudandasana. If this doesn't work, maybe just using your hands to support the weight of your thighs as you open the legs with a bend or an extend. Experiment. Find the flavor of dancing bear that works for you. Keep the line of your spine nice and tall. Try to give the legs a good stretch. We're going to ease our way back into butterfly, and we're going to try to take a big toe lock this time. Wrapping your middle index finger and thumb around the big toe, you're going to gently tug up with your fingers towards the sky, making space between the big toe and the second toe. At the same time, you're making knees heavy to floor. You're grounding through your bum bones. You're melting your collar line and your elbows, but you're growing the line of your spine and your crown towards the sky. Looking for length, yet grounding through the trunk. Keeping your big toe lock, if you can, you're going to find your way back into your straddle line, extending one side, extending the other side, and maybe adding a fold. Find your way back to a tall seat. Bring the legs in. Extend right, bend left. Finding your big toe lock on the right again, trying to drop your right elbow to the floor as you hold onto the left toes, or you can place a block and lean into it. We're going to arc and frame with the opposite arm, and we're going to try to reach past our right toes. Keeping the big toe lock on the right and dropping the right elbow to the floor. Then maybe sweeping the left arm behind us to either wrap the arm loosely behind the back or give the hand a little tug. See if you can bring the fingertips in to grasp your inner thigh on the left, and then keep that big toe lock on the right. Then unwrap yourself to change sides. Extending left, bending right. Find your big toe lock, drop the elbow to the floor, arc and frame and reach with the right arm as if you're trying to reach past your left toes. Slight rotation through the trunk. Breathe. Stay there or tuck the left arm right behind your back. Maybe give the fingertips a little tug, see if they can reach the inner thigh, and then drop back down. And you might find that one side is a lot more released than the other. Come back to Paschimottanasana, extending both legs in a narrow press in front of you, taking your middle index finger and thumb like a little crab pincer and reaching for those toes. Hold your fold, maybe elbows wide, trying to draw the chest and the head closer towards your leg line. Move with care, focusing on big inhales and exhales and taking the breath to your lower back. Wiggle around, release as you need to. We're going to find our way from here into some spinal rolls and then end in a little ball tuck on the mat for some supine play. Maybe starting to bend the knees, holding onto the shins or the back of the thighs as you make a little ball frame with your back, hollowing out your belly and rounding out your back and starting to rock and roll back and forth. Ending on the mat in a little tuck. Tight little ball, pulling the tailbone and the shoulders off the mat. And then taking a long, delicious supine stretch, reaching through the fingertips and the toes, stretching from your belly button in two directions. Easing your way from here, either into a bridge, bending your knees, grounding your feet, and peeling up into the bridge line, or using this as an opportunity to come into a shoulder stand tuck. Pulling your tailbone off the mat, supporting your lower back, bending the knees, dropping them towards your nose so that you're up on the shoulders but in a small little ball tuck. With a lot of compression into the throat center, activating into your thyroid. Rock and roll. End on the back, and your little tuck. Then a long, delicious supine stretch from the belly button to the fingertips, from the belly button to the toes, allowing for a comfortable and neutral spine position. Then bend the knees again, drawing them in towards the chest. Start to find a side-to-side cradle rock, maybe interlacing the fingers, making a little basket. Getting an east-west rocking motion through the lower back. We're going to roll onto one side and then take a long side stretch here. Reaching through the fingertips, reaching from the toes, looking for a stretch into the entire line of the trunk and trying to find a sense of balance so that we're not falling forwards or backwards. Then onto the back in your tight little ball. Take a long supine stretch. Ease your way into your side-to-side cradle rock. Getting a little massage going into the lower and middle back. Use your side to side rock to ease your way into a side stretch on side 2. Taking a long stretch from your belly button to your fingertips, from your belly button to your toes. Onto the back for some spinal rolls, or maybe you prefer to just stay with a little cradle rock. Find your way onto the back for a bridge, or coming into a shoulder stand with a diamond leg line. Think butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees wide, supporting the weight of your lower back, and thinking chin to chest. If you are in the diamond frame, bring your knees together, drop them heavy towards your nose, coming back into that little shoulder stand, ball tuck. Hold it. And relax your arms to the mat. Roll down slowly onto the mat and take a long supine stretch through the belly button to your toes, through the belly button to your fingertips. Find that small tuck, thinking nose to knee, peeling the tailbone and the shoulders off the mat. Then rolling onto the back as you gently cradle rock side to side. We're going to use that side to side motion to come into a fetal tuck on one side. Tucking one arm underneath the head, holding onto the knees or the shins and tucking into a soft little side ball. Then cradle rock, left and right. Use your cradle rock to roll onto the second side, finding your fetal tuck and waiting, pausing there for a moment. Finding your way onto the back, taking a long supine stretch, fingertip to toe. Using a few dynamic ball tucks, thinking nose to knee, or coming back into your spinal rolls if you prefer, and using the spinal rolls to either find your way into a bridge line or a full shoulder stand, thinking toes to sky and supporting the weight of your lower back. Bend your knees towards your nose. Relax your arms to the mat. Roll down slowly with care and take a long, delicious supine stretch, fingertip to toe. Back into a small ball tuck, thinking nose to knee, shoulders and tailbone off the mat. Cradle rocking side to side as you relax the head and the shoulders back down to the mat. Using that side to side motion to find your way back into a fetal tuck. Staying in your fetal tuck or starting to extend one or both legs, reaching with one or with both hands or your toes or the undercarriage of your feet and taking a little stretch here. Find your way back onto your little ball tuck, thinking nose to knee as you find your way onto the back again. Long, delicious supine stretch, fingertip to toe with a comfortable neutral spine position. Back into your little tuck frame, thinking nose to knee. Then relax head and shoulders back down to the mat and begin to cradle rock side to side. Use the cradle rock to roll into your fetal position on the second side. Staying here or extending one or both legs, reaching with one or with both hands for your toes or the undercarriage of your feet and taking a little stretch. Find your way onto the back. Ease your way in a nose to knee tuck. Then relax into a long stretch through the body. Flop your feet out. Start to angel wing the arms down, easing your way into corpse pose. Shavasana, lifting your shoulder blades off the mat and repositioning them on the mat. Starting to settle the weight of your body into the mat. Close your eyes. Take your focus inward and begin to slow the pattern of your breath. Softening and gentling your breath. Softening and gentling the muscles and the bones of your body. Softening and gentling your mind. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Visualize yourself as a white, fluffy cloud drifting in a bright blue sky, going where the gentle breeze blows you. Accept and enjoy the journey without questioning the destination. As the breeze carries you along your journey, see the outer borders of your cloud constantly changing, sometimes forming shapes that you can identify. Sometimes the shapes you make are more of a mystery. Accept and relish your ever-changing shape. Embrace it. Find strength in it. Your most important sale in life is to sell yourself to yourself. Acceptance and self-love is the key to unlocking this sale. Love yourself unconditionally. You are your greatest champion. You are your greatest asset. Allow the truth of those words to really sink in. Maybe you can manifest them today or in the weeks or the months to come. Start to bring your focus back into the room. Become aware of the shape of your body and the space it occupies on your mat and within the room at large. Maybe gently flutter open your eyes. Bend your knees when you're ready, grounding your feet. Roll onto the side of your body into a little fetal tuck when you're ready. Preferably rolling onto the right side of your body with your left shoulder facing up towards the sky. Pause here for a few moments before easing your way up into a seat of your choice. It could be a cross-legged seat, you could be sitting on a block or a bolster, you could be sitting in thunderbolt in a kneeling-like position. Find what works for you. Find a nice tall seat, relaxing your hands to your lap or your knees, or you can do palms up, coming into a mudra of your choice. Maybe Gyun mudra, maybe active Gyun, making a little O frame between your index finger and your thumb. Sit up tall. We're going to be playing with a cooling breath pattern. We'll play with Satali today. We're going to be inhaling mouth, exhaling nose. For the inhalation, stick your tongue out, drawing out the edges of the tongue so that you're making a little straw. Suck up the straw, maybe making a slurping sound. Then close your mouth and exhale nose. Close your eyes and repeat the breath pattern, maybe 10 times. Keep that Satali breath pattern going for a few more rounds and start to look for a blanketing sense of calmness that starts at the crown of your head and bleeds its way all the way down to your toes, making you feel totally serene, calm, relaxed. Make this your last active round of Satali breath. And when you've taken your full breath cycle, keep the mouth closed and begin to inhale and exhale gently through your nostrils. Keeping your eyes closed and your focus inward facing, place your left hand on your heart, connecting to that thump, thump, thump of your heart. And then open up your left hand palm up, indicating that you're open, that you're receptive to the universe. Taking your mind back to our theme of non-judgmental acceptance of the self, of others, and the universe at large. Om Shanti to you. Peace within, peace without. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today. I do hope that you enjoyed today's practice. Till next time, keep it light.